Alright, for the first time we're going to go out on a little bit of a bigger road and we can go through the gears and see how this thing feels. Oh. Definitely very, very nice. Welcome back to Living with a Classic, and today is the day. In about 3 hours, I have an inspection or an MOT time booked for the xtype. I don't know if I've told you guys this before, but this thing's been off the road for quite a long time. I think it's about 6 years or so, but we can have a look at paperwork later. I think 6 or 7 years it's been off the road. So it's the first check in a long time. I've done a couple things off camera just to prepare things. I painted the other side as well. And I've mounted one of the sills on this side because I had to do that outside just because how tight the space is. I need to sort of open the doors to mount the sill. So we got to mount the other side. I've also fixed the brake light issue, which was a really weird thing. I'll show you guys that. It's a temporary sort of bodge right now because fixing it properly would take way too long at this moment. I've also picked up a set of winter wheels courtesy of Don. He's a good friend of the channel. You may have seen him in a video actually when we serviced a Range Rover a long time ago, but it uses a different set of wheel nuts. It uses these conical ones, so I picked up a set of wheel nuts or lug nuts for the car. So we got to put on winter tires, got to put on one of the sills, got some plastic covers to put on, and I think we have a couple of bulbs to replace, and we're pretty much ready to go. This side is also painted. I did that yesterday, and really happy with how it turned out as well. I'm going to polish the edge of this once the paint has, set a little bit longer just to get it to look perfect. But today we're looking to get the sills on. I've also done a thorough rust proofing of the car. You can see remnants of that there. And remember that the brake lights always stayed on, and the brake pedal is adjustable, but that wasn't the issue. The issue was, this is going to be very hard to film, but you see the connectors up there, and that's the brake light. The bracket that is held onto is pop riveted in place. One of the pop rivets had let go. You can't really pop rivet that, or I don't have tools that are small enough to get in there without removing all the pedals. And if I do that, I think I need to re-bleed the clutch and do all that. So we're not doing that right now. What I did yesterday is I used a bit of, it's not JB Weld, but it's very similar. It's made by Loctite, and it's more of a thicker putty. And it seems to be holding. And the brakes are working. So the worst thing that can happen if that thing lets go means not you're going to lose brakes or anything. You will lose brake lights. That's it. So you can always limp it home and fix it. Something I do want to fix properly, but like I said, everything needs to go out, and there's no way. The easiest way would be just to weld it, like one good weld in there, but the underside of the dash up here is just all foam. I checked, so there's no way to do that. But maybe that bodge will hold really long. I have used this sort of putty on weird things in the past, and it's held forever. It's so strong that you can actually drill and tap it, and that works. So I do have to put this bit of the interior back together. Don't really have time to clean out the car, but something I do want to do. I really want to clean the outside. However, it's minus degrees outside and snow. That's why we're putting on snow tires. But it is absolutely, it's filthy from all the dust, but you see there's moss and stuff all over it. This thing's been sitting outside the whole time. But let's put this sill on. And unfortunately, I left the adapter that lets me put the camera on a stand in the Range Rover, and my wife has the Range Rover at work, so it'll have to be only handheld filming today, but we'll do the best of it, and I'll show you, we can show you the sill over here. I have put new clips in it and just cleaned it off a little bit with WD-40. So it has all new clips here, so they just click into place, and then there's some special screws up there that you actually sort of push into place. Here they are. So I have all new stuff like that. I'll put the sill on, click it into place, and I'll show you guys how you push in the screws, because I think that I can do one-handed. So here are the last of the clips. They go up like that, and they push into place. Pretty easy. I'll do the last of those, and then the sills are completely in place. There we go. That's a bit better. The car, of course, needs a complete detail. Once it's nice outside, then I will do this properly. But I don't want it to fail on cloudy headlights. So this is a good trick. It doesn't last that long because what you really need is to protect it with some UV thing, and we'll do that in a future video. But if you're in a pinch, regular outsole and like 2 minutes, and you get that compared to that. It's a massive difference, and it is definitely more than adequate to pass any inspection. So I got 3 more to do. Then we can get the new tires on, or the winter wheels on, and just put some engine covers and things back into place. Got the wheels back on. Of course, they don't look as good as the 18-inch BBSs, but I'm very thankful for my friend who actually gave these to me. That's very, very nice of him. New wheel nuts look nice and shiny. So we got good snow tires, got Michelin's in the back and Nokians in the front. So that should be really good, and they'll at least last probably a season, and then I need to replace them. We have the engine cover on, just put some WD-40 on it, make it look a little bit better. Once it's warm, we're going to detail everything and just make this thing look a lot more presentable. And put the cover on the battery. Battery is strapped down, and the headlights are looking a lot better. So we're very close to done now. I'm going to go inside, get some insurance for this thing and put it on the road so it's all taxed. And then we're ready to leave for the MOT. But first, I think we'll grab a quick little test drive. Before we go, there was one more thing. There was a burned out bulb here, so I just replaced that. And I found where the CD changer is and the navigation drive. There's no disc in it because its navigation doesn't seem to work. However, I want to see if the stereotype is true. So this car, the previous owner sadly passed away and left this to his kids and didn't want it, and they sold it, and that's how I got it. But he was an elderly man. So let's see what kind of music. Yeah, it's all classical, probably. Let's see if that's true. Miss Saigon. Try and get all these out. There we go. Miss Saigon. Cats. Oh, he likes musicals. Vivaldi. And yes, I think also some classical. So, stereotype is true. That's probably why this car is relatively really well taken care of inside. I usually find, at least in my opinion, that elderly people usually like to take care of their cars. Let's put this back in. I can enjoy some of those tunes while I'm out on the test drive. Went inside, I insured it, and I taxed it. So we're ready to go for a brief little test drive. I have to leave pretty soon anyways to be able to make it to the MOT on time, but I'm still within a threshold I could cancel my appointment. So we're just going to take it for a brief drive. I really just want to see that it goes up to temperature, and that's about it. But yeah, pretty cheap insurance on this thing. And parking sensors. I have the detachable tow hitch on because they always check that during the MOT that it works. So I've taken it off and I lubricated it and locked it, unlocked it, and all of those things. Hopefully that's good. Automatic locking works. And we're in second. So yeah, I can double check on the road tax, but I think it's about $300 a year, which isn't bad. Actually, the smaller diesel engine is more expensive because this one has a particulate filter, so it's better for the environment. So it has a little bit lower tax, and then it was less than $200 a year to insure. Sadly, we don't have group insurance policies here. I'm trying to talk to some people because I'm getting pretty close to well, I mean, I have a couple cars that you guys haven't seen yet. So I have 10 cars. So I'm trying to see if I can get like a group policy going or something. Let's have some heated seats on. And because I have the climate control off, I just want to see if we get any temperature in the engine. But tires seem good. I was driving here earlier today with the Saab, and it's just basically ice outside. Let me turn around and show you guys. Oh, it is basically just hard-packed ice up here with a little bit of gravel on it. So yeah, I'm gonna pull into the side here because postman's behind me, and I think it's the same thing in every country. Postmen they like to drive fast. Of course, they have a lot to do on their schedule, but I don't want to be rushed when I'm testing the car. Pulls very cleanly. That's about 2,100 RPMs. I shift there. And we can, good time to try the brakes. Oh, we can barely reach that. Let's just turn into watching the postman work. Yes, our post vehicles are right-hand drive here, so that they can easily, being on the right side of the road, deliver mail. So that is a fun little trivia. But our postal service, absolutely, it's terrible. I had some injection hoses for a V12. On the 12th or 13th of December, they arrived in Sweden about 2 days after I ordered them. And I picked them up this morning. So that is quite a long time of it just sitting around. And I mean, I've done everything with import and everything because I have a company, so it's all done through that. I have all the proper numbers and everything to not have to pay the VAT and do all those things. I think I'm actually going to pass this guy because it seems like he's stopping everywhere. I didn't really think about that. But yeah, starting to see the temperature move up now. I'm going to continue my little test drive here. We'll see if we get up the temperature. Heated seats work at least, so that's really good. We made it back, and as you can see, it's about 7.2 kilometers, my little test drive. And we're almost up. I mean, it's starting to creep up, so I think we're fine on that. I'll try that on the long drive to the MOT station. Other than that, I didn't run the climate control the whole time, so it's misted up in here. However, my favorite feature on Ford era Jags is this one, the heated front windscreen, which makes them such good winter cars. Just being able to hit that and get any ice off without having to go out and scrape the windshield is amazing. And that worked perfectly, so that is really good. I'm going to go inside, just grab a quick sandwich, and then we're going to go try to see if we pass. Alright, for the first time we're going to go out on a little bit of a bigger road, and we can go through the gears and see how this thing feels. Oh. Definitely very, very nice. Third now. Pulling up, and we're at the speed limit, but I was trying to push it through the gears a little bit, but very nice. Heat is working great. Had the radio on before. Alright, that is 5th. Temperature is almost up to the middle now. And got about another 10 minutes of driving or so, and I should be there. And I'm pretty much running right there on time. And we'll go in, let's see. And that is 6, but no, we're not going fast enough for that. But we're almost there. Fingers crossed. Everything is good with my new winter car. Well, it was just right after the MOT. I couldn't really film in there because they had the radio cranked up and just a bunch of copyrighted music. But the first time of living with a classic history, we have a fail. It's not that bad, but it's 3 things. And we'll talk about those as we drive home. I'm allowed to drive it. I have a month to fix it. But one of the issues I definitely want to fix right away before using the car. So we'll start with sort of the thing I kind of thought it would fail on. The detachable tow bar, they check that you can, remove it and put it on again. However, there is a new law, and that's sort of new about this, but I tried to check. I thought it was only you had to remove it. You also have to be able to lock it with a key. Someone has removed the lock on this one, probably because they lost the key. So I need to buy a new lock, but that's not really a big deal. It's not Jag specific. You just need to go to the manufacturer of the tow bar I have and get a lock. Not that big of a deal. Next thing is also not that big of a deal, but that's the one I really want to fix first. Both front brakes are sticking on pretty badly, actually, so we're not going to drive that fast home. They braked well, however, when we got inside and they checked later, they're sticking, and it really does feel like, since both are sticking sort of badly, it feels like brake hoses. I actually do have a set of new ones, so we can fit that pretty quickly. take the calipers off, and you know, do all of that. The last one is the one I'm worried about. That is the xenon lights. They're height adjustable, and they're stuck in the bottom. So they're not moving, they're too low, and when you turn on a car with xenon headlights, they're supposed to do the whole little thing and balance out and everything. All the sensors and all the wheels are there, or the corners of the suspension, so it's all, the system is complete. It just doesn't work, and I know that is a very standard X-type issue. So the one thing that you can do is kind of remove the system and just sort of fix them in place at a set thing, and then the whole height adjustment doesn't work anymore, because I think that it is extremely expensive to fix it. But I'll have to look that up, and there'll probably be some notes here in the bottom of the video when I find out what that cost. But otherwise, the car is good. We found a tiny bit of rust in another place, but it's not somewhere structural, so I don't have to worry about it, but I'm going to cut it out and fix it anyways. And it's driving nicely. It is up to temperature now. It took quite a while to get up to temperature, so we're going to have a look at that. Possibly get a new thermostat. I think next time I just order some parts, I'm going to order a thermostat for this thing. But overall, it's a success. It's the first time it's in the MOT since 2015. And for quite a bit of that time, it's sat in a field, so I don't think that's bad at all. We brought this thing back to life, and I think it's going to be a very good winter car and a very good extra car to have. It's really, really comfortable to drive. Nice and quiet, even though it's a diesel, and it's going to be interesting to see what mileage it gets. If I can fix the brake issue rather quickly, then I'm going to take this thing on a little bit of a longer drive later this week, because I'm going to pick up some parts. If not, I'm going to take the Saab instead with the trailer. But we will in the next video on this car. Maybe not the next one, but one of the next videos on this car, I'm going to go through the total cost. So when it is MOT'd again, and a complete pass, we'll go through the cost and see what it costs to bring this thing back on the road, and also do the math and see if it was worth it, because I know what one of these are worth when they're on the road. This one is in exceptionally good condition though, inside and out, even though it has 254,000 kilometers. It doesn't look it. There's not a mark on the interior. Everything else works on it. So I think I've done well, but we're just, we gotta double check. Anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with friends. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. Till next time, I'm Adam. This was Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.